Hello and welcome to Unexplained Possibilities in case you missed it for September 2018. Let's not waste a moment of time and jump right into it. It was a fun month for Unexplained Possibilities as we started off by uploading a small clip that was cut from August podcast where I almost died from laughter, and we also introduced Bob the extraterrestrial from Mexico who likes feet. It's a 4-minute clip, go check it out and have a laugh yourself. We also uploaded a small 5 list that quickly goes over some of the most frequently cited extraterrestrials. Interestingly enough, a few friends of mine claim to have felt familiar feelings when seeing a few of the interpretations of the ETs. Be sure to watch and let us know if you also get a familiar feeling as well. September also saw the return of Too Crazy to Believe. This one, titled Knock on My Door, is about a woman who receives a package from her son and the next day having a strange man knock on the door. Now, as usual, we're not saying if the story is true or false just yet. We want you to try and figure it out first. If you'd like to play along, then check the description down below and click on the link to Knock on the Door. Rounding out September, we had our podcast, which was different from the norm. Neema and I spoke about current events covering mental health, police shootings, and the war on drugs. It was a pretty informative show, and we're going to try and do more shows like that in the future. And that's everything with Unexplained Possibilities. Now, let's talk about a few things that caught my eye from around the world. Currently, the world isn't happy with the United States. Much of the blame falls on the ignorance of the current president, who has a history of telling lies, exaggerations, and half-truths. This month, however, during a speech given to world leaders that are a part of the United Nations, Trump's exaggerated and incorrect statements led to the world laughing at him and ultimately the United States. Ironically, Trump has been saying for about 3 years now that the world was laughing at the country. I wonder how he feels to be right and to be the sole reason that the laughing is happening to begin with. A space first for humanity has happened in September. The Japanese Space Agency probe, the Hayabusa 2, arrived in the vicinity of an Earth-approaching asteroid back in June. On September 21st, it deployed 2 rovers on the surface of the asteroid that are currently roaming about, taking images and temperature readings. This is the first time rovers have landed on an asteroid. Scientists believe they can learn more about the workings of the inner planets such as Earth, Venus, and Mars, and how they were formed billions of years ago from studying the asteroid. So, do you think you're tough? Think you can survive 49 days out in the harsh waters alone and in a small fishing hut? Well, that's just what 19-year-old Aldi Novel Aldilang did. Aldi is from the Indonesian island of Sulawesi, had been working 78 miles out to sea as a lamp keeper on a floating fishing trap when the mooring cable snapped due to heavy winds. According to reports, Aldi survived a full 49 days at sea with only a few days worth of supplies. After he ran out of the cooking gas, he burned the wooden fences to make a fire for cooking, and he drank by sipping water from his clothes that had been wetted by the sea. Aldi had tried to signal passing ships, but to no avail. By the time the Panamanian vessel Aprigio finally stopped to pick him up, 10 other ships had passed by him. Aldi also says at one point during the drifting, a shark was telling him. Thankfully, it went away. Needless to say, there will probably be a movie about Aldi's unfortunate adventure. Don't like school and want a way to take a break from it? Apparently, black magic and a Ouija board is the way to go. A teacher's daughter at a boarding school in Peru's Loreto region brought a Ouija board and a book of black magic into class. The girl was able to convince the other students to participate in a Ouija session. Mass hysteria was soon hit as at least one student ended up convulsing and screaming on the floor. When a teacher arrived to see what was happening, they found several of the students lying on the ground, many of them unresponsive and suffering from spasms. The incident prompted panicked parents to take their kids to local churches, believing that they had become possessed by whatever they had summoned during the session. The school ended up being closed for a week, but has since been reopened. And finally, how would you like to make $300? All you have to do is spend about 30 hours in a coffin. That's right, spend 30 hours in a coffin. That's right, spend 30 hours in a coffin, get $300. $100 for every 10 hours. Six Flags St. Louis has dubbed this the Coffin Challenge, and so far 6 people have agreed to take the challenge. The competition will see each participant sealed inside a wooden box measuring a mere 2 feet by 7 feet from 1 p.m. on October 13th to 7 p.m. on October 14th. They will be allowed a short bathroom break every hour and will also be served free meals inside their temporary accommodations. If they leave at any other time during the challenge, however, they will be immediately disqualified. There's no word yet if the coffins were ever used. And that concludes In Case You Missed It for September 2018. Thank you all for checking it out, and be sure to leave a comment below about events that we didn't cover but that you think are interesting. Also, don't forget to sub to the channel if you haven't done so already, and we'll be seeing you next month.